What is Ijakadi? That's the question in your mind. And why would you build something and give it an African name? Some people may ask that question. Why can't you look for a tush name, like Sentinel, like, just look at some of these cartoon characters, all of these hero characters in cartoon and just use that name, to name the algorithm. All right. So those of you that know me well, I have this bias towards what is African. Okay. I'm a Pan-African. Okay. And, um, every chance I have, I like to showcase to the rest of the world that, oh, I'm an African, and good things can also come from here. Okay. As a matter of fact, Africa is the source of everything good in life. Everything good. So we have to let the rest of the world know that. So if uh if Bitcoin units could be like Satoshi, okay, the smallest unit of Bitcoin. Okay, so Satoshi is never an English name, is it? It is not. All right. And we all adopted that. So if you actually build anything and you have an indigenous name to it, and it is good enough, trust me, people are not going to have any issue with that. So when you say Ijakadi, Ijakadi means wrestle, like a traditional wrestling fight. It will have a different name in Igbo language, it will have a different name in Hausa language, but in Yoruba language, you know, when you say wrestling fight, it's Ijakadi. Okay, you fight to finish. You fight to finish. And why that actually came to my mind was the fact that I realized the fact that in the financial markets, it's about struggle. It's about struggle. There is no middle ground in the financial markets. Okay, you are either bearish or you are bullish. Okay, so you're either buying or you're selling. So it's a tug of war between the buyers and sellers. That's what primarily drives the market. So it's either a candle close bullish or it close bearish. There's no middle ground. So it's a struggle. So and the faster you acknowledge the fact that you are here to fight, you're not here to play. Okay, the faster you accept that fact, the better it is for you, whether you're an investor or you are a trader, because it is a zero sum game. That's what you are playing. All right. So whichever money you make from the markets is gotten from someone else. Okay. When you lose to the market, God forbid, it's also, which is normal. It goes to the pocket or to the bank account of someone else. Okay. So that is really what informed that name, Ijakadi. It's a struggle and you have to fight to finish and fight to victory. All right. Okay. So moving on from here, you know, why we actually ended up building something like this is because there is a need to address certain problems. Okay. Um, I've been trading for years, maybe a couple of years now, to be like a decade that I've been in this market. So I see struggle of people. I see what people are going through because I've gone through something like that or even worse than that. So now a lot of people like, oh, I want to make money from the market, but I don't have time. I have like 4 kids I'm taking care of. I have like 2 jobs I'm doing in the UK. I have like 3 jobs I'm doing in the US. How can I actually make money from this market? There is a man, Mr. Tomori from US. I think he's been on my DM for like 2 years now. But because of his job, he was like, oh, don't worry. Next 6 months, I will learn this. But because of his nature of his job, he has never been able to really sit down and learn the nitty-gritty of how to navigate the market. Talk more of taking advantage of the opportunities in the market. So people can be that busy. Lagos life, Abuja life. People go to work as early as, let me say, 5 a.m., 4 a.m. in Lagos. Probably they're in mainland, working island. They have to leave as early as possible. And guess the time they come back home, probably around, if they are lucky, they get home around maybe like 9 p.m. If they are lucky, or 8 p.m. If they are not, that will be around 11 p.m. before they get home. So people can be that busy. So how do you expect someone like that to get back home and start thinking of they want analysis here and there? Even there are people who have been able to learn, but because of the nature of their job, they don't have the luxury of time to practice what they have learned. So that is the problem. Now, let's address the second one, not having a passive income. In fact, one of the I think in 21st century, nobody should be living without having a passive income. All right. Nobody should be living without a passive income. And if you don't have a passive income, okay, there is no problem. But there is a problem, okay, if you do not start thinking on daily basis, what passive income can I create? How can I join the league of those who are earning passive income in this life? So you have to start meditating on it, thinking over it every second of your life. And up to now, I still continue to explore, to expand. Okay, why do you need to do that? It's because you are mortal. That's number one. Number two, you know, we think we can control everything in life, but especially when we are very young, around 20, 30 years. But to be honest, you cannot control a lot of things. Okay. For instance, there is no how you can extend your allocation of daily time frame beyond 24 hours. You cannot do it. It is out of your control. You just have to accept what you have. All right. So you cannot, if everybody is having like 365 days in a year, you cannot turn your own to 1,000. You cannot. So if you accept that, then you have to think of, oh, what if I'm able to work? What will happen to me? Okay. What if there is COVID or the next pandemic? Nobody planned that COVID will happen in 2019. Nobody planned for it in 2017. Nobody saw it come in 2018. Even the first year, I think like January 2019, people are not even seeing it coming until March that year that it became something that is, that the whole world has to worry about. So, but the market did not stop. The crypto market was there, still running. The forex market was there, still running. So, but if you have actually made a plan to earn without working, then yeah, COVID may have its effect, but if the effect will not be that pronounced in your life. So that is, COVID happens to be a wake-up call for everyone throughout the world, the length and breadth, every corner of the world. Problem three is we, it is not bad setting our time. Maybe you're freelance work, you are into video editing, you are a programmer. Yeah, it's okay. Like you sell maybe like 8 hours a day of your time for money. You sell like 12 hours a day of your time for money. There's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. Okay. But one thing you should understand is this. In this life, you hear of someone that, you know, I think in those days, land and labor. My great grandfather happens to be, one of the wealthiest man of his time. Yeah. Why? Because he had access to lands. There is hardly any farmer that has more lands than my great grandfather in the whole of Ogun State. The whole of Ogun State. All right. So, and he had access to, labor. I mean, massive one. So he had the land, he has the labor, which are the factors of production in those days. So how can you now, how can you now outperform my great grandfather in terms of wealth building, making money? It will be difficult because first and foremost, you don't have as much land as him, you don't have as much labor as him. It goes as far as Kogi State, and beyond to get laborers. to work on his farm. So now what is my grandfather doing? My great grandfather, what has he been doing? He's not selling his time. He's buying people's time. He's buying time. So if he has like 200 laborers working on his farm, on his cocoa farm, on his rubber farm, that is, they are selling their time. If he's getting like 8 hours from them, just multiply that 8 hours by 200. That is like 1,600 hours is what he has access to every day. That is massive. So how do you intend to outperform him? It's just not really possible. So people skill in those days with land, they skill with labor. But now is the era when we scale with machines. Okay, when we scale with machine. So the biggest companies today, they are not the company that have the highest hectares of land anymore. Things has changed. Things has evolved. So you need to think. I'm selling my time right now. Is there any way I can leverage on what I've made by selling my time? Okay, to buy more time for myself. Think passive and stop, and think about that. So let's talk about the other problems too that is faced by most traders. We can't be shy. We can't be shy with. We can never shy away from this problem. Trading psychology. It is everyday problem. Every challenge. Everyday problem. Every challenge. You know, being someone who has trained. I think if I should count now, people are that I have trained more than I have trained close to 2 dozen people on one-on-one, and I've trained over 200. If I have to count from the time when I started training people like trade to earn. But before trade to earn, I've done training on campus, I've done training I've used lecture charters, invite people and train them, like in real life. Back then in University of Ilorin, I've organized Zoom before Zoom became popular. Then I've used Zoom, I've used GoToMeeting. For those of you who are aware of that software, then to train people virtually. So if I should really say like how much people have I trained, I should have trained close to 1,000 people in trading. Then it was used to be like free everywhere, just just trying to help as much as possible. So but there is this common problem. I made money last month, I did not make money this month. Oh, last month was so bad for me, but this month is a little bit better. Okay, that is kind of inconsistency, like as a result of poor trading psychology. Okay, so and to be honest with you, nobody, except you want to destroy your emotion completely, nobody has uh a perfect if a perfect psychology is maybe 100%, nobody has a perfect psychology, even the best amongst the traders. Okay, so but the more experience you have in the industry, the more you're able to improve your psychology. You don't have a perfect psychology in just a few years of trading, maybe like a year or 2 years. It's difficult. So people struggle with this every day. Psychology, emotions, right? The another problem is blue light. Blue light. I I think I had my first ever experience of having a slightly bad vision was I think last year. I live stream, on HTS exchange. I teach people like a key opinion leader on the platform, on the exchange platform. So I woke up I powered on my PC. I wanted to go live. People are watching. We have thousands of people watching to watch. They're waiting to watch live. So I powered on the PC and I was like, I could barely see the screen. I was like, whoa, that was the first experience. And that was the first time in my life I've had that experience. I started rubbing my eyes. I started, applying water and all of that. Then I started seeing the screen better. So shortly after that, I had to go to an hospital to consult with health experts, and they were like, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "Okay, I'm a trader. I do financial market investing and all of that." He said, "Okay, you know what? I think you're having more exposure to blue lights, and you have to limit, how much exposure you have to blue light." I said, "Hey, again, that is it. You don't reach that level. I guess So I took some supplements, give some recommendation of the food to eat, food to avoid, and all of that. That is how I started using a photochromic glasses. In case you see me using glasses, that is how I began to use photochromic glasses. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm still using that glasses, right? So, but there is so much to what the glasses can do. There's still some light that will pass through it. When you question doctors so much, they will tell you truth at some point. I said, do you think, he said, you know what? It cannot really prevent this 100%, but it will just help you a little bit. Just imagine that. So you have some of you press screen, like, some of you 11 p.m., 12 a.m. I know that you press the screen, you use the phone to that period because if a signal is dropped or an update is dropped around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you must see somebody that will pick that thing, that will use that information. I say that will reply to it. So you tend to go back to bed to sleep, but you find it difficult to sleep. Why? Because of insomnia. Too much exposure to waves, too much exposure to light waves. That's the problem. You begin to roll on the bed, and that could lead to a poor health because by the time you wake up the following morning, you're having headache. You are taking paracetamol, you are taking some other drugs to kill that pain. All right. So, and the sixth problem is lack of consistency. Just like I said previously. Okay. Lack of consistency. Because we are human, we struggle with that consistency. We are only trying. There is so much to what you can do, but there is so little to what you can do. So we lack that consistency. So if all of these are not your problems, problem number one, problem number two is one of your is not it's not a challenge to you. Number three, you like to stay your time, you don't care about having a passive income, or you are not even busy at all. Like you just have free time all days of your life, right? And if you have, a stable trading psychology, blue light is not your concern, your health, insomnia has never happened to you before, you know, and you have, strong consistency. Well, maybe the algorithm may not really be something you may need. But if you have one of these challenges, then definitely you want this to solve the problem. You want to use this algorithm to solve the problem. All right. Because it does not rest, it does not sleep, does not slumber, it does not have any problem with high or any health problem. It's just there on the server, a loyal slave working on your command. Okay, just so loyal to you. Anytime you want it, just put it there and it keeps running. Allow it to do its work. Okay, maybe once a week, twice a week, just check your your terminal and see, okay, how far have we gone this week? How far have we gone today? How far have we gone this month? That's the only thing that you need. So you're able to save time, you're able to, save a lot of things. And I think I've shared this with my friends, students in trading community. Like there is a stage. Life is about stages, right? There is a stage where you need to automate like crazy. So this is here to provide a solution. Okay. Now, I keep talking about retirement plans, and we're like, why is this guy talking about retirement plan? Are you 60 already? Are you 50 already? Are you 70 already? To be honest, if you are living in a country like ours, I think starting to plan for a retirement at 25 is not a bad idea. Maybe this may not be applicable to those in maybe a better climb like in US, in UK, I don't know. You know, maybe they can start planning their retirement at 40. I don't know, but here you have to start planning for it. You may not be able to figure out everything at the beginning, but as long as you are curious every day, okay, what by the time I'm 45, I'm 60, I'm 75, what are the things I want to fall back on. Now, I did a quick research, you know, let me share that with you. There was a quick research here, like I asked Grok a question like, what is an average gratuity for a civil servant in Nigeria? I asked Grok, and you think you feel like maybe it is possible that AI can be saying something that is out of. But when I look at the data that was presented by the AI, okay, it's still loading. All right, it is not at all far from what is obtainable in reality. It is not far from it. How did I know? Because my dad is a civil servant. Okay, my wife works with the government. I have siblings, both men, both young girls and young, you know, that work with the government, state, federal, they work with them. So that gives me an idea, you know, of how much in average gratuity that people earn in Nigeria. It is, I wish that this would be fully loaded right now. I don't know. What is happening to Grok? Or is it my network? Okay, it's coming up now. Then you see it. I want you to see it by yourself. Okay, I don't want to hear it from my mouth. Don't worry, we are signal. You will see the live trade, the live interaction, the live stuff with the algorithm. Don't worry, you'll get there. Okay, you'll get there. So, but before this is fully loaded, it said that the average is between 500,000 naira to 6 million naira. When people work for government for like 25, 35 years, that is how much is being paid as gratuity to them. Some of you who are here, I don't want to mention states. Maybe I should just not talk about that. But some of you who are here should be able to confirm this. There are some states in this country whereby people have been out of work like that since 2000 and let me say 14, 2015, and their gratuity is not paid yet. It's in the news. It's not a private stuff. Okay, some states are like that. So now look at what the AI said about it. You can say the pension law, the MDAs and all of that, they are all here. Okay, then look at this. Zamfara State paid this amount to this amount of retirees. Look at this. Okay, so it was able to kind of extrapolate from all of this data to arrive at 500,000 to 5 million, for mid to senior level civil servants. Okay, so it is something that you need to like have a look at. Does that make sense to you now? So now let us run the algorithm. Okay, let us run the algorithm. Are you ready for this? Okay, okay. Let me ask you right now. Okay, are you guys ready to run the algorithm tonight? Shall we? Okay, shall we run the algorithm right now? So let's have a look at how it works. Okay, it's part of the things that we have to like have a look at tonight. All right. So, but before we do that, let's just try and play around with our imagination before we try that. Imagine like you have $5,000, okay, and like it's not say maybe you go to maybe you have to like go to your shops, to your workshop, to resume work, every day, and you are able to grow that capital in 4 years to like $27,000. It may look like I'm looking at growing 5,000 to 500,000. Okay, well, That is the gambler's mindset, to be honest. Okay, you have to be so much realistic, because passive income is not the same as active income. All right, they have a different role that they want to fulfill in our lives. There are different roles they want to fulfill in our lives. There are wealthy individuals that don't use their money to pay school fees. Yeah, there are individuals that will just buy a car. They never have to struggle to maintain their car. Why? It's because they have a system somewhere that actually generates the money that can be used to fulfill those needs. There are people who, the university education of all their children, it is just fully automated for them. All right. Like, just when the time comes to pay the school fees, then you take the money and you pay it. So how can you not live a fulfilled life if you don't have to start thinking that school will close next month? So you have to start paying for the next session or the next semester school fees. How does it feel like if you have kids in primary school right now and you're able to have a structure that ensures that their secondary school education, tertiary education, even if you want to have a master's degree in your house, is not a challenge to you. Okay, that these are the things that passive income helps to cover. Okay, so just imagine that moving from year to year in 4 years, it is very possible. Okay, very possible, and you see its possibility tonight. Okay, you see it tonight. So before we get here, let me quickly, I'm going to share this screen with you. Just give me a few seconds, please. Deposit right here, and we want to backtest this against 4 years. I think it's over 4 years data. All right. So based on data that is available on this platform. So if you check, oh, sorry about that. Let me adjust this. Yeah. So that makes sense. So you can see, let us run this on gold on daily time frame. Okay, let us have a look at that right now. So let us switch to daily time frame right here. Okay, so I think we are set. So if you look at the input right here, you see that you have input like, this is the most important part of the input right here. It is that drawdown, okay, that is covered 30%, right? So we can start this. Okay, you might not see the screen except I share with you. But you can see the graph. Okay, you can see the graph. Okay, you can see the graph, isn't it? So, but let me quickly share this with you also. So let me go to, I want you to see it as it is working. Let me share the next screen with you. I think it is this one. Is it this? Yeah, let me share this so you can see. So you can see, okay, it was deliberate that I made it to be fast, to be fast, so that we won't spend all of our time here tonight. Because some people are just coming from work and they decide to join us tonight. I really appreciate that. So we have to respect, those individuals, so that people can participate in the live launch and be able to attend to some other things before they go to sleep. So you can see that between, okay, I think we still trading in 2021, okay, and it is growing that capital, isn't it? So, but because that year there was no much trading activities like that, so you know, right? Okay, so this is how to grow the capital. All right. So some people are trying to join the group chat. Let me accept that right away. Okay. So this is like the second year, bah? Okay, and towards the end of the second year, isn't it? So by the second year, it has increased that to over, I think, over 8,000. So 9,000. Okay, it's still doing what it knows how to do best, right? You see that? You see that? And I would like to draw your attention to something. At the end of this, so it's still doing what it knows how to do. Okay, still trying to manage the capital as efficiently as possible. Okay, that is the system. All right. Is that making sense to you right now? You see, when a profitable trader builds a system, it's not the same thing as when a developer wakes up one day and say, okay, because I can code, let me start coding. It's not the same thing. Because maybe I shouldn't actually go there. I should just be silent on that, really. So you can see that, isn't it? All right. So still doing what it knows how to do best. We are now in December 2023, isn't it? So at the end of this, you are going to see something. See something. How does that feel to you? All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Is this still making sense to you? How do you see it? I'm unstoppable. Is this still making sense to you? Yeah, let's go there. So we're going to run the test till I think March, April this year. Okay, so we're going to use this year's data for it. All right. So we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Be patient. Watch it. Okay. That was September last year, isn't it? September, October, October last year. Okay. Then we're moving to December, isn't it? Okay. So, how far? So, January, Happy New Year. This year is my year. Happy New Year. Yeah. You know that December vibes now. When you have to like You know, December, January vibes. Oh yeah, trying to enter a new year, isn't it? So February. Oh yeah, let's see what happened on Valentine's Day. Okay, it was nice. Then when is March? Okay, March. This is March. Then April. I think April was last month, isn't it? So I think then April. April is here, guys. So you just have to allow an algorithm to do its work. Okay, that is the key thing. You have to allow the algorithm to do its work. You have to be able to trust the system, right? Yeah. So it's actually ended with 17,800, right? So let us check some more. Let me switch this to a different tab. Where is it? Okay, so let me share this with you, which is also important. So this is the data. Okay, this is the data on that back test, the graph. You can see how the graph went from 5,000 all the way through to this point, isn't it? So for those of you who are good in mathematics, let's do a small mathematics. Don't even have to be good, as long as you pass your primary school mathematics. That will be enough. No, that will be enough to do this. So this is it. Okay, this is it. Let me drag it up a little bit. Okay, you can see that sometimes that there will be some slight drawdown, but the algorithm eventually close, and exit those trades. All right, which is normal. Even if even as a manual trader, it is normal, isn't it? Now, here is the backtest results. Okay, the quality. There is a reason why this broker was chosen is because of the quality of their data. 98% of the quality of the data, isn't it? So we have initial deposit of what? Of 5,000 and total net profit of 12,878.22. Right? So then we have a drawdown. Okay, a drawdown on our balance was the maximum of 25.25%. There was a time I posted on WhatsApp that we are going to build something for prop firm. Okay, we are getting there. It's a step. We are going to get there. I promise. Okay, no sleep, no slumber until we get there. But what you have right now on your live accounts, some of you've blown your account now, but this guy did not blow any account, did it? Some of you have an account and you're down by even 80%. And you're like, oh, I think I have to stop trading. I'm tired. I'm this. You start thinking of all kinds of things. That is it village people? What is happening? Right? So, for me, at some point, I was not even focusing so much on profitability. We have to like really optimize for for safety. Okay. Money here, safety here. You don't want to blow your account. All right. So that is one thing you need to have a look at. And the profit factor is reasonable, 1.46. Very, very reasonable. And the recovery factor is amazing. It's superb. You can see all the data by yourself. It's not fluke. Right there. It's there before you. Now let us now do a very small calculation like, okay, how can this one now make me $21,000? With this, if you divide, okay, let's do a very quick one. You can just plot your calculator now, okay, or you can even use an AI if you want to check this out. If you're 5K and you have 5K profit, that's 100%, isn't it? Then if you have 10K on top 5K, that is what? That is 100%, right? If you have 12K on top that is, I think, let me confirm, okay, so that you won't say that. Let me say 12,800 divided by this. Okay, that is what times 100. That is 256% in that period. 256% in that period, right? Now, average, like let's even say that's for like 4 years. If you divide that by 4, that is average of 64% every year on your balance. Average. Then if you now say, okay, because even this year is not, it has not ended yet. Okay, 2021 till 2025. It's 4 years, isn't it? So let's even say, okay, let's even become conservative. I like to be conservative really. And let me share my browser with you. Okay, and we are going to become conservative right now. Okay, so let me share this with you. Where is it again? Okay. Okay, let me first of all stop sharing my screen. Then I'll share it again. Don't worry. So share screen. Okay, let me cancel it again. I don't know. I'm trying to share my browser screen with you. I don't know what is happening. But let me try it again. Let me try it again. Ah, there is a challenge because I've not. Okay, I've seen it. Okay, I've seen that. So I believe you can see my screen right now, isn't it? So let us now go ahead. Okay. Let me open this in a new tab. Okay, this is my favorite platform, calculator site. I love the platform very well. Okay, so if you get the slide, you see the link embedded in that slide. Maybe I will share the slide with you at some point. So now let's say your capital is 5,000. For those of you that have the mind, not everybody have the mind anyways, and you are, if you say you're having like 60, let's say you're having like 50%, right? 50% of that capital. If you compound that annually, it is just 50%, right? That's conservative, really. It is more than that. Then you compound this for 4 years. Okay? Like every year, you are just compounding that profit on your account. This is what you have. Okay? This is what you have in 4 years. Alright? In 5 years, how much is 5 years now? 5 years is just if you study in university, 5 years, you're out of the system. In 5 years, how much would that be in 5 years? 60,000, right? Now let's just go back to 4 years because what you have is the report of 4 years. Okay, let's stick with that. So now all you need to do, you can see, by the time you even remove your capital, what you have right here is sit at 1,900. Okay, that's 1,900. If you multiply that out, let us use a Google calculator. Online calculator from Google. So let's say that's 1,000. I think the current rate is about maybe 1,006 thereabouts. Anyways, okay. This is close to 50 million naira. All right, just in 4 years. So now compare this with that data from Grok of the average retirement plan of mid to senior level civil servant Nigeria that works for 20 to 35 years. Okay, we have a powerful leverage in this generation, to be honest. The leverage that people did not have 20 years ago is what you have right now. I mean, right now. The power to scale and to scale like crazy if you want it, right? So, let me go back to this. This is how powerful the algorithm is. Whether you compound what you have or you simple, we have simple interest and compound interest. Whichever one you prefer, you this is still going to make money for you. All right. So now let's go back to this. This is the user guide. Okay. The user guide is the document of the full optimization. The reason why that guide will be necessary is because there are people that want to do like by themselves, like say, let me try this one out. This, what you have right now, is a fully optimized and fully automated algorithm. Okay. And if you truly want to optimize it, if you truly want to leverage it and take massive advantage of it, you have to play by the rules. That is why this is supposed to guide you. Okay. The details of what you need, they are all here. Okay. The lot size, the settings, everything is in the user's guide. Okay. It is deliberate that you have a user guide right there in it. So please don't don't jump the gun. Okay. Maybe that's the right word to use. Don't jump the gun. Okay. Make sure that you follow what you have in the user guide. Makes sense. Now, how do you use it? Here is a plan. Okay. The license is annual to use it. The license is biannual if you want, if that is your choice. And you can get a lifetime license if that is your choice. Okay, don't worry, I'll break it down for you too. So the reason why the annual is normally the license is going to be 299 later. But the reason why it is 249 is for the first set of users. Okay, before the price begins to go up. All of this, both the monthly lifetime before it begins to go up, it is for the first users. That's why I said most of you tonight are quite lucky. And I will prove to you why you are lucky tonight and why you deserve to be tonight. So let us move on from there. So the annual plan, the annual license is, per account. So let's say you have an account created with a broker. Okay, that account will be licensed to use the algorithm for a year for $249. If maybe you're on the fence, all right, let me just try and see how far, you can also get license for 6 months, which is $149. Yeah, if you're bullish and you like to take, to take a lifetime license, that is 1,000, right? Now let's have a very quick calculation of this. Your monthly expenses for server, if you're going to be running this on your own server, maybe your own virtual private server, the best server out there, there are a lot of useless servers, but the best servers out there, this is the price range. The minimum among them is between 18 to $28 a month. That's the range. If you are getting a VPS less than this, it is likely that you're not getting a good one. Okay. So, and if you want to use a server, you have to consider the uptime. The uptime, the speed, the storage, all of these are things that you have to consider when you're trying to get the server. Okay. And now this is how much it costs you to use the algorithm on a monthly basis, especially if you are using the annual plan. Okay. It costs you $20.75 to use the algorithm on a monthly basis. So if you look at the total cost a month to use it, that is 38.7 to 44.74 a month to use it. Okay. Well, it may look like, is that not much, but they say soup with sweets, my money still kill am. All right. So, but let me now prove to you why I say you are lucky. If you want to run this kind of business, the cost of running this kind of business a month is way more than what you have right here. Maybe you are even driving a Uber. or you're driving a taxi in any state in Nigeria today, your monthly cost is way, way more than, you know, is way, way more than this. In fact, most business that will give you anything close to what the algorithm will give you, the monthly cost of running that business is crazy. I mean, crazy. All right. So we'll have a look at this. For the first 10 people that will be using the algorithm, all right, they are not going to pay for server cost. They are only going to pay for what? You know, the cost, the monthly cost, which accumulate for like a year. Get a year license, get the server. It's as simple as that. So this exact same server that I'm using is what you're going to be using. It means that you have a zero cost on server. Okay. So those who are here tonight, okay, that is a massive opportunity for you. Okay. And that brings your cost down all the way from 38.75 to 44.75, depending on how how good the server is. It brings the cost down to just 20.75. All right. That is if you are using the annual plan. All right. So moving on from here, if you want to get the license, you can pay in Naira if that is your choice. You can also pay with crypto if that is your choice. Okay, it depends on what you want. But here is my recommendation if you're going to be using the license. Make sure that your capital is not, if you're going to be using a cent account, okay, make sure it is not less than 2,000. If your capital is anything below 5,000, please do not use a standard account. Use cent account. Okay. And even if you want to use cent account, ensure that the the account size is not less than 200,000 cents, which is an equivalent of $2,000. Does that make sense to you now? Okay. So because you are running a business, okay, and you want to make sure that your cost of running the business is not as high as the profits that you make from that business. Yeah, can I run the algorithm with 1,000? Yes, you can. $1,000, maybe like 100,000 cents. Can I run the algorithm with $500? Yes, you can. Okay, but based on what you've seen so far, it is not going to be so profitable for you if you are running with such amount of money. Yeah, maybe you can just see the performance and see how it works with that. That's okay. All right, that's okay. But that is recommended. Not less than $2,000 on set account and not less than $5,000 on standard account. Okay, how that makes sense. So moving on from here, um, this is the end of the public presentation with respect to the algorithm. Okay, now it's time for question and answers. If you have any question with respect to this, please go ahead and ask those questions. So right now, you have the floor. Okay, if you raise your hands, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, so that I can have the chance to ask your questions. Okay, you can send your question as message to the group chat. I'll have a look at it, and you can raise your hands. Okay, I think I have CF raising his hands right now. CF, go ahead and ask your question, please. So next will be Star. After that, who is next? So CF, I can see your hand is raised. Make sure you tap your mute button. That's the number one rule. Tap the mute button, speak to your mic. That is the only way we can hear you. Otherwise, we will not be able to hear you. Please go ahead. You have the floor right now.
Yeah, hey, good evening. This is actually a very wonderful, but my name is Cheesy. Uh, those that know me already know me.
Yeah, cheesy. I know cheesy
Okay,
now. I know cheesy.
so first of all, this is amazing. I mean, I was here just imagining things, and I'm just imagining how, uh, let's just say, someone puts in a million naira, and just hypothetically, right? Because let's just say it's 1 million, and it's growing at uh, over uh, over 50% annually. That is a very good return on investment, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But did you check the worst case scenario? What is going to be kind of the monthly return on investment in a worst case scenario?
Yeah, in worst case scenario, let's say like 4.8% on a monthly basis.
Yeah, that's very conservative and realistic.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense. Also, I want to ask questions about the lifetime uh, subscription that you take that 1,000.
Okay.
So uh, quite reasonable. But the question I know that some upgrades would be done to the bot, with respect to optimization. So would there be some kind of, let's say, maintenance fee? Hey, I know you have a lifetime subscription, but we've done this and this and this and this, so it's required to do this and this.
Okay. Is that all? Or you have more questions?
Yeah, that's all for now.
Okay, all right. So if you get a lifetime license, I know where the fare is coming from. Like, is it not better I do a yearly license so that if there's any updates, because obviously this is version 8, but the dev was like, oh, we shouldn't call it a version 8, we should rather call it version 1.8. That is what the dev was like, he said. So we're like, will I get access to the subsequent development, subsequent upgrade on this? The answer is yes. That's the answer, is yes. So there's going to be a continuous support, even if you're getting a lifetime license, whether you're lifetime or a 6 month or a annual license. So there's going to be a continuous support for it. I've never done anything that doesn't have a support system. You should know me for this. So once there is a new update, because by the time you get the license, you have to fill the form. Your email will be there, your number will be there. So once there is an upgrade, the new license, everybody will license again, one after the other, and that will be sent to your email immediately. So all you just need to do is to download the new license from the email, then apply it on your chat and start running the algorithm again. I don't know. Does that answer your question, Cheesy?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. I just have one more question.
Okay.
The bot, are we gonna be running it by ourselves, or are we gonna have our account connected to the
Yeah, yeah. You are going to be running. Normally, you're supposed to run the algo by yourself, but I'm giving a chance to the first 10 that will be licensed. So instead of them to start paying for a server to start running the algorithm by themselves, then if they want, they can choose to use the VPS, which have control over at the moment. All right. So, but if you want to buy, it is even advisable if you don't want to take that offer to buy your own server, your VPS. You can buy a VPN for like a year, 2 years, and let it run on that server. So yeah, once you get licensed, the default thing is that you should run it on your own server. That's the default thing. But if you want, you can let me run it on a server that is here. Is
All
that clear
right.
now?
Please, I think not everyone understands what server means,
The VPS,
right?
VPS. Sorry, that's the
Not
virtual
everyone
private server.
understands that. Are you gonna anyway? I think there should be a manual for people to go through that, to be able to understand how to connect their trading accounts to servers and how to go through that route.
Yeah, that is taken care of in the user's guide.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. So the next person will be Star because he's the next person that raised his hand after and cheesy. So star, you are allowed to speak. So then Temi and Valentine will also have the chance to speak. Okay. Maybe you're in a noisy environment or you're shy, you can just send a post to the group so that I'll read it and respond to that. So star, go ahead, please. Tap your mute button, please. Tap your mute button. Unmute yourself first so that we can hear you. So star, you are allowed to speak. Tap your mute button and speak into your microphone so we can hear you. So while we're waiting for star, let me go on to, okay, some hands were dropped. Let me go on to the next person. I think Jachin. Now you're allowed to speak. Go ahead. Tap your mute button so they can ask your questions. So, okay, go ahead.
Uh, Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, just two questions. One, I don't know if I'm the only one that had this issue, but your audio was pretty low. I could barely hear most of what you said during the presentation.
Oh, wow. Like seriously? I didn't know that.
So yes, and I raised up my hand while you were presenting, hoping that you would see it and I could chip in because there was no place to type for you to
Okay.
be able to receive probably chat or something. Anyways, that's by the way. Um, because of that, I really didn't get to hear. I did hear about live license, and I think I heard annual and biannual, but the pricing for these were not clear for me, and also the pricing with regards to getting servers was not. I heard the part of 10 first time people know about, but every other person. So that needs to be clarified. That's the second question. The third question is you're giving a product out. Most of us that are here because we have dealt with you for some time, and we know that you are a man of you are transparent and you have integrity. However, you are giving a product out, and the product might eventually be used by somebody who really doesn't know you. Do you have within your process? Um, because when you buy things from, especially bots and EAs, from developers and traders, there is this option of what do you call it back? If you are not getting what you want from it within a certain period of time, you 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 get your money back. Like money back guarantee. You have something like that. If you don't, are you considering it? Because um, I don't think you are looking at having this algorithm or a within just the community that you have. It's going to stretch out. So you probably might put that into consideration. So if you put up the pricing and you re-explain the pricing, it might make it clearer for people like us. Also, with regard, I didn't get the portion. I heard 5,000. So $5,000. Does that mean that anybody who doesn't have 5,000 cannot get benefits for from this this bot, this algorithm? You understand? So please just re-explain. I hope you might just explain that. Thank you.
Okay. So if I can hear you clearly now, you ask questions about the support for it. You ask questions about the guarantee, like money back guarantee. Then you ask questions about the pricing. Yeah. So basically, I really wish that I hope Franklin is here tonight. I really wish that people can use the algorithm with 500, 1,000. But to be honest, You know, even together with the dev guy, we tried and tried and tried, and honestly, there is no way. So you have to. So I hope you can hear me now. Okay, okay, thank you. I think I have
Yes,
some
it's okay.
slight
So
issues here.
saying
So let me share the screen
you
again.
have at least
Okay,
2,000,
just
at
I want
least
to launch the
2,000, you have to open a cent account.
that I think is what is this platform? IC Markets. Okay, IC Market Zero account is also good, but XNet is way better than IC Markets. Okay, so those are the recommendations. Does that make sense to you now?
But, thank you.
Okay.
So much. Yeah, star.
Yes, for cent account. Yes.
Thank you so much, engineer. Thank you so much for this
So,
good
but if you have 5K, there's no point in opening. But there's
detail
no
that
point in
helped
opening cent account.
even
Just
the
go right there
users.
and use
Thank you so
your
much.
standard account, which is
And
zero
wrote
spread.
down our two questions. The first one is you said,
So I hope your question has been answered,
you
Jashin,
talked
so
about
they can allow others
I think
to others to
interest,
ask their
compound
question.
interest.
Okay.
You're trying to show
So we
the
have
result at the end of
Uche.
the
Uche, go ahead.
now. No, I'm sure that
Okay, start. Okay,
everybody
go ahead.
like
Start. Go
to
ahead, start. Your question, please.
compound interest. Now, the question is this also is it included in the settings that you can switch even if you want to do
Okay.
like a monthly compounding or even monthly compounding or 3 month compounding or I just want to know how
Okay.
the compound stuff is done there. Is included in the set. And the second question is do you have a various system on ground for people that want to bring in other people have benefit for them? Those are my two questions.
Okay. So the first question is the compound. Is it automated like you can just turn on a button that compounds the money for you? The answer is no. Not yet. Maybe like the next version 1.7, sorry 1.9 can have that button like to compound it. But when I say compound, it's not like I'm encouraging to compound. But I just showed you what is possible if you decide to compound in 4 years. All right. What is possible if you decide to compound? What is possible if you did not compound? You are still going to make money. Okay, but when you compound it, you make more money. So, but if you want to
That
compound
you
manually,
speak on it,
I
I don't know.
recommend that you compound maybe at the end of the year, or you compound like 6 months, every 6 months. Okay, if you compound every 6 months, it is possible every 6 months. Let's say compound 5K at 25%, 6 months. Okay, that is not even possible here. But you can compound like every 6 months too. Okay, I can't say any drawdown for like 6 months here. All right. So, but let me try. Okay, this is yearly. Okay, then you do it like for 4 years. So you have only yearly, weekly, and monthly and daily. So you don't have like 6 months or quarterly is not there. So, but to be honest, you can compound in 6 months, every 6 months. But don't compound don't compound every month. Doesn't It is stressful. Like, it doesn't actually make much sense to compound like
Yeah.
uh every month. So do it like once a year or twice a year at most. So that is the recommendation. Then you also ask the question like, is there going to be a referral system? Yes, there is. So if you would like to refer maybe your friends, your loved ones, yeah, please send me a DM either on Telegram or on WhatsApp. So there is a referral system if you want to refer your friends and your loved ones to use the algorithm. So does that answer your question, Star?
Okay. Can you hear me now? Good evening.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So yeah,
Thank you very
does
much
anyone have any
for this
question?
contribution.
Or I can see some hands are
Um,
dropped. I believe that
I
maybe you have a question
even though
and someone else asked the
I heard about
question and you've
Forex
gotten a precise answer
and
to those questions.
I want a bit
Okay.
of
So let's see. I'm still
input
scrolling. We
as
have
well, and
Basi.
I will exactly
Okay,
know
I'm gonna come to
because,
Mega, please. Mega,
like
you're
you
next.
mentioned,
Basi, you're
okay,
muted
we're
already.
gonna
What's your question,
do
please?
again in the morning, start in the
Tap
morning,
the mute button
then we
so that
come back very late at night.
you can be audible.
So whatever I do
Yes,
is
loud and
based
clear. Good
on
evening.
that time that I have, which really
All right.
doesn't amount to anything. From your presentation, some of the things you said are very new to me, and I would like such clarification. First, when you talked about the license fee, you mentioned 49 for 6 months, 159 for daily, and $1,000 for lifetime access. I want to understand if I'm to get the license, whatever one, do I still does the cost because I don't know exactly know how it ties down to the calculation made. If I buy, I get a license for 6 months at 249. Do I still how would I put it? To what extent do I fund my account? So how would I fund my account? And the number one question. The second question is that being somebody who's busy, you talked about manual configuration of the algorithm. At what time do you advise? Because I'll definitely still want I'll still reach out to you with a lot of I'll DM you quite a lot, get qualification on this platform here. At what time do you advise that who have relatively no experience with manual trading, much more setting and configuring algorithms? Do they have to look at the trade and say, okay, I think I need to set this if there's going to be any such kind of activity. Then the other thing I want to ask is, um, okay, the other thing I want to ask is, if you have a community and you want to set up, do you have an opportunity to like uh, block block accounts? That's what I want to ask. If you cannot afford on between 2,000 $5,000 individually, is there opportunity for like as a group to do block investments? They pool together their resources, then they're able to use it, set up their accounts with the intention of leveraging, compounding on the success of the algorithm, and that as it grows, they can then gradually begin to break it into different accounts. Is that something you would advise? That do you have any such provision in this algorithm? Those are my questions.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, to answer your question, I think Yeah, I know the network was breaking. Like I was just struggling to hear you. Like so, your network is not that strong from the side, but I managed to hear a few things from what you said. Like the, I think you asked about the license. You have 6 months, 12 months, and a lifetime license. So, and it depends on choice. You can do 6 months. You can do 1 year. And for the
Okay.
community stuff
Then
that you talk
the
about,
question
yeah,
I asked
if you have a community
concerning
and you
the
are ready
license is
to be
um,
responsible for
at
that community,
what
that's also
point
fine. Okay,
does
so you
the
can get a
algorithm need to
license,
be
use it if that
um,
is what you want,
configured
but
or
by the time you
set
want to
up
like
and all of
spread
that?
out to
Because
like you want to
of
like spread out
if
to
I
other
have a
accounts,
busy
within that community,
schedule, I have a
of
busy
course your
schedule,
community members will need to
and
get a
I not
license
always
for
that.
that.
Do I need to carry
So
my
if you're
phone with
breaking
me every
into
time,
five, you
my
have to get
laptop every
five
time with me to be
licenses. If you're breaking
checking
into 10, you have to
if
get
the
10
algorithm
licenses.
needs to be
Exactly now,
configured in a
that's the
certain
way.
way? Is there any such thing going to happen, or is it just a one-time setup and Ijakadi will just be left alone to run its course? Yes, yes. Sorry, one last question concerning the server. Can you break down
Yeah, it is
the
one-time setup.
server
So all you have
thing
to do is
again?
just
Because
like maybe
I
check
really
your
don't understand
MT4
when you
on
say
your mobile
server.
app, maybe
Uh,
like once a week,
how?
twice
What
a
do you
week, and
mean?
see, the
If we are
performance,
going
how
to
far
be
it has
connecting
performed. That's
to
the only thing you
our
need.
own servers
So
and
once it
or
is
to
configured and it's
a
on live
certain
server,
server,
you
can you
are
break
not
it
going
down?
to be doing
So I
anything
understand what you
again.
mean by connecting
That is
to
one
certain
time.
server or to your own
Exactly
server.
now, Mr. Bassi. Okay. Okay, okay. When I say server, you know, the algorithm can run on your laptop if you have a PC. But here is the problem. If you have a PC, you can run the algorithm on the laptop. But the laptop needs to be on 24/7, 24 hours throughout the year. Now, if you have to leave your laptop on 247 just because you're running uh, an algorithm on it, it doesn't get turned off at all, then you will damage that laptop. You will damage the PC. In fact, there is no PC that can survive it. Like the normal home PC, you cannot survive it. So this is why we rent a PC elsewhere that have the capacity to be online 247. Are you getting it now? So because there may be time that the algorithm will execute a trade around 2 a.m., okay, or around 4 a.m.
Yes, it does.
By that
Thank you
time,
very
your
much.
PC will not be on. So when you say a virtual private server, it means that a PC, a laptop, a computer that is on 247. So by the time you check that VPS, you discover that it's a laptop, but it's a laptop that is somewhere else, maybe in Germany, in US, that is on 247. So it's not like maybe it is that technical. It's just a PC that is available on the internet 247 throughout the year. That's what I mean by server. Does that make sense to you now? Okay. All right, you're welcome. So anyone else? I can see hands raised up. Demo. Okay, demo Tarib. Go ahead, please. I think that'll be the last question for tonight. It's been a very long ride, but let's see. Demo. Is it demo Tarib or demola something? Please, demo, you are unmuted. You are allowed to speak. So it is now left for you to unmute yourself from your end. Speak to your microphone so they can hear your question. You can listen to your question rather. So let me see. Let me check the group chat if there's any message dropped. which has not been attempted to yet. Oluwatimilẹ́yìn, your question is
Okay.
answered. Okay,
Can
you
you
have
hear me?
deja vu. Okay, Mega should be first because he raised
Hello?
his hand first. Yeah, Mega,
Okay.
what's your
First of all,
question?
thank you
Please,
for
what's the
your
minimum
presentation.
amount one can use to run the board? Okay, minimum
Okay.
for
I have three
standard account
questions.
is 5,000
First of all,
and
I
for
want to
cent
ask
is $2,000 for cent
if
account.
the
Yeah, so go ahead, please. You're allowed to
algorithm
speak.
can trade
Mega,
news
turn
like CPI
off your,
and co.
okay, turn on your mic,
And then
speak to it, and go
how
ahead.
it changes the
Mega, are you
positions
there?
using stop loss and
So let
take
me
profit.
allow
Like
Deja
the
Vu
loss,
to also speak.
is it
Deja Vu,
like
go
a
first.
standard lot size or does it
Okay, go ahead,
increase
please.
over time? And then
Yeah, I
can,
can hear you loud,
because I
loud and
didn't
clear.
really
Go ahead.
see when algorithm was running
You're
when
welcome.
you backtested the algorithm. So I want to know if it can open multiple positions as well, or is it just one position per trade? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it opens
What about me?
maximum of two positions per trade. You know, maximum of two. That's the maximum you can do. So, and the reason why it does that maximum of two is because it tries to edge. Okay, when the market
Okay.
looks bad, it tries to edge. Okay, and it edge to
Oh,
kind of put the account on safety. Then it finds a way to exit
oh, okay.
if
That's
there's a bad trade and exit. You get it now.
the lot size.
So it doesn't do more than two trades.
No, I'm
Yeah, it
asking
will
about
have
the lot
nearby
size
news.
of
If
the trade.
NFT news comes and there is
Yeah, does it
movement of 5,000 pips to the market, it's none of his business. It doesn't affect it at all in any way. It's been tested against news multiple times. It's not affected. Okay. Any other question aside that? Okay, all right, fine. Okay, go ahead. The lot size, yeah, the lot size depends
Hello,
actually on the account.
good evening.
It depends on the capital, and that
I'm
is
late. I
carefully
just not quite well.
that's
It's
carefully
quite
stated in the
impressive.
user guide.
I want to ask,
So you can
can
see
I get
different lot sizes for different
a
account
recorded
sizes. It's
video
there in the
of
user
this
guide.
launch so that I can have a recap of what we've been discussing? Thank you.
All right. So deja vu, you're going to be the last person that will ask questions tonight. You are muted or you are allowed to speak. So tap your mute button right now. Ask your question, please. Deja vu? Yeah, go ahead. Deja vu. Good evening. Okay, okay. Just yeah. So probably tonight or tomorrow, the replay of the launch, the public launch, will be available on YouTube, so you can watch and watch and watch as you want. So I hope that is clear. So everyone, thanks you for being here. All right, and in addition to what I've said tonight, there is something that is being worked on right now. Okay, it is the AI agent version of the Ijakadi Trading Algorithm. All right, so the agent is powered by uh, ChatGPT. Okay, that's a version of the algorithm, and for those who are going to buy the license, they will have access to the agent for free. Okay, so what the agent does is this: every day it drops a signal. Okay, based on all the tools that I use for analysis. Okay, it will be trained as if I'm the one who is trading the market. Okay, like seeing what I'm seeing. But the good thing is that it is not me that will be there. It is on a live server running 24/7 throughout the whole year. So you may want to have, in fact, you can even test those signals. It will be purely gold, please. I'm not promising anything else aside gold, please. Okay. So you can test that if you have a prop account, you have a personal account, you trade, yeah, it's just free for you guys to use, in that Ijakadi Trading Algorithm support group for those who have the license, whether it is lifetime license, whether it is a 6 month license or an annual license. It's going to be there 247. All right. So that is it. Thank you everyone for being a part of this presentation, for being a part of this public launch. I do not take this for granted. Okay. So yeah, our quest to break out of the matrix, it will never stop. Right? Our zeal to break out of poverty is not going to stop. Okay, as long as there's life, we have to continue to work on it. And our quest to make sure that our kids live a much better life than what our parents give to us, that quest is not going to end. All right. And the quest to make sure that even if we don't feel like working, or probably sometimes you cannot just walk. It's not like you don't feel like walking because the strength, the energy is getting faded. It's fading away. It's no longer there. Okay. So we need to have that zeal to make sure that even when we are not working, something is making money for us. Okay. So now we are ready to scale, not by the size of the land that we have, not by the amount of laborers or slaves we have, on that land working for us, but by the power of computers, by the power of virtual machines. So this is how we should be thinking in 21st century. So if you are going to be interested in the license, okay, send me a DM on WhatsApp or send me a DM on Telegram. Okay, so I will
Bye.
send you a
Thank you.
form that you fill. So the only
Have a
details that
good
you
night.
need is your email address, your phone number, WhatsApp number, and the